So this is a one of those Abby and Libby anniversary posts. I'm Brad Barfield with Outside of the Grid, and I'm out here walking around Pond. I've been kind of reflective today, a little bit of time to think about the case, the Delphi Murders case. We posted quite a bit about it over the past year. Not before then, you know. I wasn't posting anything of this nature before then, but it was mostly different things than that. How about that? But so what I have been doing recently, though, is this past year. It's almost been a year. It was at the 5-year anniversary that Outside of the Grid started posting content related to the Delphi murders. But now I've known about the case since when it first arose, I guess you could say. I was at home in bed with the flu, and I remember I was, true crime has always been something I've watched since I was a kid. I mean, good Lord, I'm in my 50s now, but back then, you had all kinds of interesting things that would pop up. Unsolved Mysteries was an 80s thing, but there was more than that. There was a lot of weird stuff going on back in the 70s and 80s that I can recall, because people were different. Ooh, look at that sky. Can you see it? It's actually beautiful. But people were different, just like they're different now than they were in the 90s and 2000s, 2010s, and before 2020. Before 2020. That was a pretty weird time. We're still getting out of it. I don't know that we're fully out of all that yet. The ramifications, the stuff that happens around it. I don't know. I don't know if what I'm trying to say is that I don't know if and how Delphi was affected. How Delphi was affected by the virus, by the pandemic. We read about things happening in law enforcement and prisons all across the states, the various states. I know in our state, the prison systems got hit hard at the very beginning. I mean, there was so much going on. They were moving people from counties to cities from prisons back down to that. They were releasing people. I mean, there was a lot of crazy things going on in 2020. There's been a lot of discussion lately about the 2019 presser, the new direction. Can you see that airplane up there? Woof! Squirrel! I'll go running off into other directions. But you wonder, because they're, if you listen to that thing, man, oh man, does it sound like, and it's the profile, and everybody I've ever heard talk about it for all the years I've been investing time in this case. All of that time, that seemed very serious. That what was said then seemed like it would be something that would dramatically change what was going on, and it sounded like Richard Allen. It sounded just like Richard Allen. If you listen to it now, you go, yeah, well, that's the profile. That's Richard Allen. That's what Richard Allen does. That's what Richard Allen is. So, 6 years later, Richard Allen. Some people say it's not Richard Allen. Some people say that Richard Allen's not the only one, including McClellan, the prosecuting attorney of Carroll County, Nicholas McClellan. We have reason to believe that Richard Allen is not the only actor involved. Mr. Nick, why did you say that to us? Why? Mr. McClellan, sorry. Mr. McClellan, why you might say that to us? it was so much easier, you know. I mean, we have someone arrested, and it's like, oh my God. But we had the Ambien tip line being used for kegging. How's that involved? And then we have McClellan saying, we don't feel that Richard Allen is the only actor involved. So here we go. And oh my goodness, you know, I've kind of backed away from. I had to back away from all the stuff going on right now. There's so many conspiracy theories about everything. You know, just stuff. But now, you know, it's stuff that could be kind of true, and then it just takes off a life of its own, and it becomes this crazy thing. And you know, next thing you know, there's, you know, giants involved, and they're just handing out masonry or whatever. I don't know. I mean, there's like, it's weird. It just goes into these weird things like, wow, what are you talking about? But then again, you know, there's a lot of things that kind of make sense. You know, at least from what we know, because we don't know much. I know I don't know much. I love, I like to speculate about this thing, but I've enjoyed it over the years. But now, you know, I'm tired of speculating. I'm ready for resolution. You know, there's a lot of, God, it's such a beautiful sky. Look at that, it's all brown. Squirrel. I mean, there's been all this speculation going on. There's a lot of it going on now. Good Lord, if I get one little hint, one little sniff, if those dogs would have just stayed that night, what would have happened? And man, then you could go down these trails. Oh my Lord, more trails than actually at the park, at the walking trail. You go down these trails and these holes, these rabbit holes that everybody says. I'm down in a rabbit hole right now. I'm in a tunnel under the bridge. And that's actually a real thing, you know, what people are talking about. And you can search it, there's some vague references to it in the 40s. Maybe it's there, I don't know. You know, maybe it's it. Who knows? The thing of it is that the possibilities are endless. You know, all of us that keep a close eye on Delphi, or even just watch it on the outside of our little circle, you know, you're probably into true crime, but you probably know other cases. You probably see where weirder things have happened. Weirder things have happened. So, you know, most of this, you know, the scenarios that I hear that actually make it through the filter that I have around me, you know, they're reasonable, anticipated, because of the holes that are left open by what the public knows about this case, which is vaguely a zero. We know some things. We can speculate about some things. There are some things that we thought we knew that turned out to be right. There are some things that we thought we knew that turned out to be wrong. I've never been involved in any kind of a criminal case, but I've been involved in lots of civil litigation over the years. Controversial figures sometimes a cause of controversy. I don't want to do that anymore. I wanted it at the time, but now I'm like, oh, I don't want your problems, bro. But I know one thing from all the cases that I've had to fight over my years, whether it be in a business setting or wherever it is, it's all about fighting. It's about all this cultural identity that a lot of people have now is fighting. It's just useless. And it's all about delaying. Lawyers, you know, they want to delay. They know that they don't want to get anybody in there mad. The left, the right, the defense, the plaintiff. Nobody wants to be fighting. The lawyers don't want to be fighting. Everybody else wants to fight. But the lawyers don't want them to fight because that's bad news. It's bad press. It's that bad president. There's all kinds of bad things going on with that. Now I'm older. Now, you know, in my 50s, I'm like, you know, if there's anything that comes up, I want time. I don't want to have to make a quick decision. Don't come to me with no damn quick decisions. Come to me and let me think about some shit. Give me at least 30 days, preferably, but I'll take less. I'll take a whole lot less. You got to make those fly decisions. But this case is going to get dragged out for a while. I know it. You know it. And we're going to learn more about what all happened if we can stay alive. That's one of my big assertions with this, because this dying epidemic that's occurred in the last year or so. But tis what it is. But I don't know. I mean, with what it means, if you just do a cause map and you look at Alan and you back up everything you know about Alan now and just kind of back it up and look. I mean, it could be all kinds of scenarios available, with the other actor involved. I mean, if some of the stuff that we hear is true, people being undressed and redressed and stuff thrown away, stuff taken home. I wonder if they found stuff like that. I wonder what they found at his house. I wonder if those thin books were those photographs that he picked up from the Patty family? I've been teasing this thing called the Abby angle. Everybody talks about it. Nobody wants to talk about it because of Anna Williams. And I agree. I don't want to piss Anna off. I don't want to piss anybody off. You hear me? Come on. I don't want no part of that. I don't want no part of pissing anybody off. But what's the Abby angle? Do you know what the Abby angle is? For 6 years now, for 5 years now, we've been focused on, it's not been that long. For the past year, we've been focused on the Libby angle, where she got manipulated by a catfisher. Libby made the mistake. It's not really a mistake. It's like some evil shit. That's a good word for it. Feces. Stuff happened. But it's always been from the Libby perspective. But what about from the Abby perspective? I mean, what was she doing? Was she not doing anything? Maybe it wasn't her. And that's saying it wrong. It's not being accusatory, because that's just not it. But if you look, I mean, she was turned into an attractive young lady, and there were people looking. I got through watching that Jason Hebert, whatever his name is, podcast about true crime and whatever else. And Anna was talking, and she was saying about this encounter that she had at a store. And this guy was staring at her and Abby. And, if you look where Abby lived and where Richard Allen lived, it's less than 1 mile on the same road. I mean, it's like a little turnoff road, but they're on the same little road out there. Yeah, I mean, just right out there. I mean, just less than a mile away. And the bridge is just right over there. It's all going down, just right there. Just right there, up close and tight. Like this right here. Well, let me tell you a secret. My name is Antonio Andropov, and I came here to tell you that as you're a wanted man, you have pissed off some very important people, and they have asked that I attend to you. What are you talking about, Brad? My name is Antonio. Sometimes I have with this bald head, I say things. I try to take on a character, because you don't want to be normal and take on some normal character. You want to have a little bit of flair with it. Right in the middle of the most controversial thing you can talk about. It's not controversial, it's what happens. People do weird shit. People are weird. I didn't even realize this. I mean, I go through life, I'm like, I focus on the particulars. I stay on my own trails. I'm out doing my own thing. But there are things that interest me that pop up. And then I see that other people have totally different interests. And they pop up for them as well. Because this world is a phantasmagorium of just all kinds of things going on all the time. You can't put it into words because there's so much stuff going on all the time, everywhere. You're with people these days, especially in 2017, including, you're sitting there at a table having breakfast, having pancakes, and you're texting with someone, a conversation that's not related to there, but also having conversations with people you're having pancakes with. Am I wrong? No. There's all kinds of things that go on. There's multi-layers. Reality, as we understand it, is complicated. And I'm really pissed. I don't know what to say. I'm just kind of emotional today because this, I have a child that age, and my child has not died. Hopefully he will way after I'm gone. My oldest child. But he's their age. He's Abby and Libby's age, a little bit younger than both of them, actually. But right about that age. I mean, he's just a few months there. And I have pictures of him from that day here in Arkansas, looking at him. You know, I had the flu, but I went for a walk outside. I was get my distance and all that kind of stuff. You know, I'm sure I was appropriate. But I took pictures of him. And I also took pictures of him Sunday. Six years later. So, I'm blessed. But there's some families out there that are not blessed. And there's all this stuff going on. I mean, it's a bloodlust. We really want to know what's going on. We really need it, and we will. But just this stuff is going to ooze out. Ooh, that's the sun over there, isn't it? Well, I was wanted to show you that sky over there. This one's kind of unique too, though. It's very beautiful. Well, you know, no disrespect about any of that, you know. But what it does is it changes how you look at it, of how you're investigating it. It's just a different way of cause map. You're starting at a point and going backwards. And everybody, I've never heard many theories about the Abby angle. I actually mistyped it one day as the Abby angel. I knew a little girl like her. I mean, just like her. Same hair. And she was a friend of someone that was very close to me. And they graduated high school. And just a few months later, this little girl had a wreck and was gone forever during the rodeo in a local town. And, you know, it just, this went on probably by the time of Delphi, right, this, you know, yeah, it was before that. But it was, yeah, I guess not before. It's not the end. It was before. But next thing I know, it was at the same time I had my kid. That's what it was. So it was tied into the Delphi in the perspective of the children that are involved. So my child was born. In fact, this girl came and saw my oldest boy, whom I have pictures of now and then. And I'm blessed, you know. Unlike the families that we talk about so much, the Patties and the Williams and the Germans, and there's other ones there as well. But those are the ones that we always hear about. But I'm blessed, you know. That little girl there that came along when my child was born, that died. And then these girls pass away all these years later, 15 years later probably, 15, 16 years later. I mean, and of course there's all this stuff that happens in between. And then, you know, it's, you know, it's just disturbing. It's just, I mean, I want to know. And it's intriguing, disturbing, intriguing with this video, and this audio, in this small town. Man, you know, small towns usually solve murders in days, not years. But then again, you know, you start watching these big cases all over the country, and they're 30 years old, 40 years old, 50 years old. There's cases solved now using DNA from the 60s and 70s. They're all dead. The perpetrators are, and a lot of times, a lot of the family is. They never get any kind of resolution. The process seems like it's speeding up some. We're lucky with Delphi to have some kind of an answer, you know, at 6 years, because a lot of them are 30, 40 years. I mean, I see stuff from the 80s and 90s, 30 and 40 years ago, that are now just now getting solved, and a lot of those people are dead. That's a long time. Shit, I'll be 52 this year, and I'm like 40 years ago. I actually remember that now. I was in puberty. Vaguely remember it, but I was there and alive. Alive and kicking, staying with you always, always. Alive and kicking. I'm just so sad about those little girls passing. They never got the chance to be here, to be where they needed to be. I heard these people talking about today. It was like, they're smart girls. They probably would have been in college. They probably would have been doing some great things. Who knows what they would have done? And some dumb tard, F-tard, did some dumb S. And then here we are, millions of people all over the place going, please tell us what's going on with this. Let's get this thing wrapped up. Please. Please. Let's get this thing tended to. Let's get it out. Get it over with. Like this podcast. Over and out.